What up? Get some. What's up, everybody? How's that lockdown treating you? Keeping it real, everyone? What's happening? Let's see what's happening. Trying to figure this out, everybody. I was just talking to real Leif Babban, and I said, hey, man, let's just talk to everybody. Cool about the gram.
What's happening, y'all?
Wouldn't it have been nice to have this little setup, like, overseas?
It actually would have been totally insane. I can't imagine how cool that would have been.
Yeah.
Instead of our little, like, webby messenger.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate, being able to go face to face with people, like, and how much of a difference it makes to be able to sit down, even if it's on the computer, and communicate. The thing that, just for everyone, so everyone can know, the thing that Leif's talking about, he says webby. It was sort of like the military's version of instant messaging on the secret internet, because there's such a thing as the secret internet. It's like a separate internet from civilian world. The military has our own internet, and it's not accessible, and that's where confidential and classified information gets passed. So inside that thing, we had our own little instant messaging, and we used to use that. We used to communicate with that, and well, this is better.
It's way better, definitely. Yeah, this would have been game changer if you'd have tuned in with Stoner and Del Platoon from Corregidor to Camp Ramadi. That would have been outstanding.
Yeah, although I wish I could have saved all those webby messages, because some of them were pretty damn funny.
Some of them were funny and probably not appropriate for public consumption, for sure.
So you and I were just talking about this thing that we're doing right now. We've been doing it for a while. It seems like, so Echelon Front, how long have we been in business for?
Over 8 years now.
So 8 years in business. We grew, we've really never advertised, and we kind of just grew. What's that word? What's the word? Organically. We grew organically, right? And then the more we grew, at one point, we started getting to a point where we couldn't service all the people that wanted us to go and talk to them. And then also our price point went up to sort of to discern who we would go talk to. And then we started doing, in order to still communicate with people that might not be able to afford to have us as full-on, consultants for their company, we started doing the muster. And then, that brought the price point down, where people could come to the muster and bring, 4 or 5 of their key leaders to the muster, or maybe 10 of their leaders to the muster. But that seemed to fill a certain price point. The other end of the spectrum, obviously, is, we've written a bunch of books. You can get a book from the library. That's free. And you can take notes, and you got those notes. So that's cool.
You can download the podcast for free.
Yeah, the podcast is free. At this point, it's the problem with the podcast at this point is there's so much of it that you might not be able to zero in on, like, hey, here's a problem that I have. How do I handle that problem? So unless you're just keeping up with the podcast, which is hard to do if you just started listening to it 2 weeks ago, you're not going to catch up for a while. Sorry. Even at 2x speed, those of you people that go 2x speed week to week. So a while ago, we started doing some online training for people, and we launched an online training platform, and we took the information that we needed to push out. We got it, we kind of streamlined and distilled it down, like, so we could get the fundamental principles of combat leadership across everyone. So we made those modules, we made those units. We're actually in the process of making those even better, more aligned with the books. So, but all that platform is there. And then we started this a while ago. We would do questions and answers with people that were enrolled on EF Online. And well, now with what's going on, it took us about 2 days of conversations to say, wait a second, there's a lot of people that are, they're hurting financially. and yet at the same time, leadership is the most important thing on the battlefield. What can we do? So that's where we're at.
Yeah, we know leadership's the most important thing on the battlefield, and we've got to now in a time of crisis, leadership matters more than it's more important now than ever before. So being able to get huge and be able to release it to people who need it, who need to understand the leadership principles, how to apply it. So we're releasing EF Online at a new price point and lowering that price point substantially, which is going to be awesome. That price point is going to be $24.99 for initial sign up for EF Online, and it's going to be after the first month it'll be $12.99 per month thereafter. And what I'm excited most about this is that, particularly because we're not on the road right now, we're spending a ton of time, and we're going to continue this going forward of getting online and actually having some small group Q&A with people that are participating. So it's really cool to be able to direct access to Jocko, to me, to JP, to Dave, and all our other echelon front instructors who can actually take the principles that we teach, help you apply these principles in your world to solve your problems and win.
Yeah, Leif, while you were talking, somebody said, here's a question. What's the picture behind you, Leif?
The picture behind me is the Ready First Brigade combat team. That is, this was the Ready First Brigade of the 1st Armored Division, and this is the picture that they had painted to commemorate their entire 15-month deployment to Iraq. And what's special about this picture to us is it's based on a photo of the Quick Reaction Force launching in support of Charlotte Platoon and Task Unit Bruiser on the morning of August 2nd, 2006, when Ryan Jobe was wounded and Mark Lee killed. So it's a very special picture to me. Those tanks in the background, every single time that we talked, we asked for help from Main Gun Mike Bime and his soldiers from Team Bulldog. Those guys jumped in their tanks. They came out. They helped us every single time. And so I proudly display that on the wall with all the, as you can see, it's got all the symbols, the units, the unit crests and patches from all the units that were part of the Ready First.
You know what? You just got me kind of fired up to play a little one-upsmanship here. Somebody just asked why you didn't, first of all, you didn't give any love to Mike Sorelli in your call out. So, you know, I guess you just don't know love for Mike today.
I got all kinds of love for Mike Sorelli. What are you talking about? You got direct access to the Mike Sorelli. And that's a huge part of what EF Online's about. Uh-oh, Jocko has left the screen. I'm waiting in anticipation for what he might be bringing back. This could go any direction, y'all. Stand by. Stand by to get some.
So, Leif's got that picture of the 1-1 AD. It's pretty awesome. No big deal. I have one of those too. Whatever. But what Leif doesn't have, and when I left, when we left Ramadi, you know, we had an incredible relationship with the guys from the 1-1 AD, all of them. And when I left, Colonel McFarland at the time, who retired as General McFarland, we gave him a paddle, which was kind of strange because we were in the middle of the desert. We gave him which is a traditional gift in the Navy, and it's definitely a traditional gift in the SEAL teams. And I know Marine Corps Raiders do it as well. So you get like a paddle and you dress it up very nicely. And
by the way, it gave him a paddle, and on one side of the paddle, it had a Task Unit Bruiser patch, which ironically, Jocko had forbid us from making. If you've read the patches story from Dichotomy Leadership, I heard us talk about that. So, and he appreciated that patch.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was also, what's also significant about that was it was made out to Colonel McFarland from his Army SEALs. So I think we're the only group of Army SEALs that have ever existed. And we were proud to present him with that paddle. And then he presented me with this. Yes, a freaking wooden tank, an M1 Abrams tank, and it says on there, you know, Ready First Combat Team, OIF, 05 to 07, and this is one of the few things that I proudly display in my house as an awesome memory of the great relationships that we had with those guys, and we'll never forget the amount of times that our Army and Marine Corps brothers came out and took care of us when the times was getting a little Western out there. So that's Andy Stumpf. When Andy Stumpf tells hunting stories about bow hunting, and when things start getting a little You know, when he's coming back, Andy comes back from hunts with with no boat, with no arrows in his quiver. That's Andy Stumpf going western.
He's going Winchester. I like that.
Yeah, he's going Winchester. He's probably one of the few bow hunters going Winchester on like a 2-hour hunt, but get something.
If you don't know what Winchester means, it means you shot all your rounds. You're empty.
Yeah. So what else so we're in lockdown. I know, just again, going back to kind of a business situation, there's a lot of things happening right now. If you haven't seen, up at Origin, we did a pivot to start making masks, and that's going awesome. Go and check out the story that Pete's posting over at Origin of everyone sewing and getting these things shipped out. And same thing, we were immediately, as soon as the coronavirus hit, at Echelon Front, we had to do the same thing, start saying, okay, what adjustments can we make here? And the biggest but most positive thing we can take away from it is what we're trying to do right now with get EF Online, get more people involved in EF Online, support what they need, be able to communicate with people directly through EF Online. And then we've also made a lot of adjustments, or where there's been keynotes that I was going to do, and now I'm doing videos. There's been questions and answers with teams, with executive teams that I was going to do. I was going to fly to Chicago, I was going to fly to New York, and now we're getting on the web and we're doing them there. And I think it's going to change the way a lot of people work. And I'm not saying we won't be doing live stuff, because I'm sure we will. It's always great to go face to face with people, but as you can see from what we're doing right here, I mean, aside from the fact that I can't reach through the phone and throw a rear naked choke on you, other than that, like, I feel bad. I feel like you're uncomfortable. You feel comfortably safe right now, which kind of bothers me.
Hey, as our commanding officer said back in the day, we were tasking a Bruce, we're like, well, you got to do what Jocko says or he'll just choke you out. I was like, sir, like, after you've been choked out by Jocko like 400 times, it's not really even a threat anymore. It's okay. We're good with it. We're all used to it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been really cool to watch for us to be able to pivot and start focusing on this. Cause that's the other thing is, for all the EF team, we're always on the road. We're always going. And it's pretty easy for us to get caught up in the tactical battle that we're doing. You're on a plane, you're talking to someone, you're talking to another client, you're on the plane, you're going somewhere else. And a lot of times focusing on EF Online, it was like, okay, well, we'll get to it. But now now's the time to get to it. Now we take advantage of the situation that we're in, just like we always do. There's a problem, there's an issue. How can we turn on that, and how can we use it to our advantage? So that's what we're doing at Echelon Front. Wanted to let you all know, and I hope that everyone out there is also taking advantage of what you have going on. Whatever little downturn, it looks like a downturn from one angle, you step to another angle, and you might see an opportunity.
And I think for me, one of the coolest things is we reached out to clients and worked with so many leaders that we worked with, over the past few years. So many people have reached out and thanked us for sharing these leadership principles and lessons learned. And I've been amazed at the emails that have been forwarded to me from a member of the team saying, here's what the boss forwarded out. And it's the laws of combat. Here's how we're going to implement these laws of combat in the midst of this crisis situation. So, at the end of the day, there's what works and what doesn't work. And the stuff that we teach is what works. It's what we learned, because we learned the hard way. We made tons of mistakes. And I think being able to share that with people at this time where it really matters and can make a huge difference in your life, that's what had about. So we're excited to be able to do that.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say here is someone just asked about the muster. Good question. We had scheduled 3 musters for 2020. The first one was in Orlando in May, and then it was going September in Phoenix, and then December in Dallas, Texas. We did cancel the one in Orlando in May, but we already rescheduled to do one in May of 2021 in Orlando. So everyone that was in Orlando that has to stay in Orlando, or they wanted to come to the muster in Orlando, we'll be back there next year. A lot of people are just transferring their tickets over to Phoenix or Dallas. So if you want to come to the muster, I think by September, we'll be all clear. This virus ain't going to keep us down. This is America, baby. So,
that's right.
Yeah, stay safe, everyone. Thanks for joining. And I'll talk to you later, Leif.
Talk to y'all soon.
Out here.